All right, 2013 E350. Actually, it's a cutaway. It's a 5R110W, and when I was running the VIN through ShopKey Pro, it had different selections because I had to price it out, and everything was a 4R75E, but when I went to cutaway for model or submodel, it came up as a 5R110. So what I actually did was I called the dealer with the VIN, and he told me what it was, which is a 5R110W. Okay, this truck does not move. It's a big box truck. We had to get one of those monster trucks to tow it in, and when he tried to scoop it up with the wheel lift wouldn't even take it. It's a plumbing truck, so the thing's got to be loaded in there. Okay, so we towed it in, did not move, and we're gonna open this thing up and see what we find. Okay. When the installer, I guess it was easier for him to pull the tail off because this, I told him, if you wanted some more room to get the trans out, I told him the output shaft will slide right out. So we took the tail off, and everything, was able to bring it down a little easier because I think it had to kind of come down on an angle. So, with the extension out of the way and stuff, it probably came down a little easier. Alright, so we have a no move condition. I'm going to show you guys in a minute, but I got a very screwed up input shaft, or output shaft I should say. So we're probably looking at some kind of a problem area. I'm thinking maybe right behind a pump, maybe like with the coast drum, something to that effect. But let me get a little closer because this has an input and output speed sensor. This really doesn't have a valve body, it has a solenoid body. And we'll take that out, we'll identify the solenoids. And we'll go from there, okay? So this is like it is an emergency job for a very good wholesale account that we've been doing work for probably, I'm gonna say, I don't know if it's 35 years, maybe more, maybe 40 years. And we'll get into tearing this down, so I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so I want to get these pump bolts out first. One more. And then we'll flip this thing and make the pan down. Alright, here's a ring for the torque converter here. Alright. Alright, first, actually, before we flip this thing, here's your input speed sensor. Let's take that out. Certainly don't want to break that. Okay, there it is. Now right here, I'll leave the output speed sensor in the tail for now, but this is the output speed, right there. And like I said, if you guys can see this, that output speed sensor reads here. And I got a new shaft coming because this thing is screwed up right here. This is all beat up here. I guess possibly a bearing maybe rides there that had gone bad. We'll see. I'm gonna take this pan down, see what the pan looks like. I think this thing stopped moving possibly all of a sudden. I know we had to send the truck, pick it up on the side of the road. Okay, so we got a bearing here. And let's take the park assembly out. Okay, that'll come right out. And we got a little lube piece right here, kind of like on the 5R110W. Similar to a 5R110W. But there's no valve trains. You know, in the pump, you have all your converter valves and your like main regulator valves. But pretty much it's a solenoid body. Don't really get too many of these, to be honest with you. One. I'll get that later. Alright, pan, doesn't look too bad. Okay, well, that's some filter. Okay, you got a screen here, you got Dacron material here. And that's some filter. Okay, that down. Okay, now what I'm going to do is disconnect the harness from the range switch. Okay, because that'll come out separate. And now we got to take the bolts out. This is like the solenoid body channel plate, I guess you can call it. It looks like this consists of 8mm and 10mm bolts, and it looks like the 8mm ones are the ones that come out. These are all the same length. Okay, this thing will come right out. All right, we'll identify this stuff and talk about this after the unit's down. One thing I like to do with these is change out the temp sensor. That will common problem. I know shops that do a lot of these actually stock them. Just makes it not shift correctly. I had one that came from a wholesale account, and actually it was making the fans go on because the computer thought the transmission was overheating. Okay, next we're going to get these center support bolts out here. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, all right, let me just put you guys on hold for 1 second. Let me just get a couple of sockets here. Okay, got my sockets, got a 13. Take that one out. And a 1250. For this. Alright, so let's see if we can get this pump out here. And check that coast drum. I think this, there we go. Okay. All the bolts out here. Let's see if we can get this pump out. Sorry if I'm blocking the view here. Something going on here. Yeah, it looks like this drum broke. Open this real quick. This thing can stop moving. Here's the diagram. Yeah, look at that. Here we go. There we go. Busted drum. There's the piston actually, right here. Okay, alright, so I gotta get a drum for this thing, and that other thing was scratched up pretty good. Okay. Alright, so we found the problem. I had a feeling that's what happened. Alright. So now, we're going to get the center support out. First we gotta get the snap ring. This is for the overdrive clutch here. Alright. I'm gonna try to stay out of the way. Okay. Alright. And now we gotta get the center support snap ring. Alright, so for that, we'll use this. Okay. Alright, so this has kind of like the hooks. This actually also has a chamfer to it, where this one's is just pretty much flat. Alright, now let's see how easy the center support's gonna come out. Alright, you know what? Let me get a couple of pliers here. Get it moving a little bit. Let's see if we can get it now. Okay. Alright, center support. Got your piston for your intermediate clutch. This is for the input speed sensor here. Alright, so coming out now, we got the direct drum, intermediate clutch. Intermediate clutch. Alright, direct clutch, and we will put all these later. Forward. These. Right, not bad. Alright, so we have actually this bearing goes on top of the pump. I'll show you that. This here goes there, and you have a plastic washer here. And another bearing. Alright, coming out now is the forward planet. Well, ring gear, I'm sorry. Okay. Got a couple of washers here. One here. One here. Shell. what I gotta do, let me just turn this case over, I gotta get rid of some of this oil. Alright, now I'm taking the snap ring out for the low reverse. Should be like a mechanical, if it's still like that, mechanical diode. Yeah, but this here is all, this doesn't come off, so this is all one with these clutches and steels. You know, if you would have to, if there was something with these frictions, I think you actually would have to purchase this whole thing. Alright, and it's buried all the way in the back here. And that sits here. Actually like that. Alright, so this case actually is stripped down. It has the low reverse back there, but I gotta get this thing into like a foot press or something, but I gotta let this fluid drain. Okay, so what I want to see now is let's open. All right, just get situated here, and we'll start going through these drums. All right, so I will be back in a few. Okay, all right, so, you know, remember I was showing you the output shaft is no good. Okay, so on the forward drum, I'm going to try to get a bushing. Forward drum here, there is a bushing inside here, which that rides on, and this bushing is all scored up and screwed up, so no way I can put that back with the new shaft coming. So I'm gonna have to see if I can get a bushing kit or if the bushing is sold separately. Not really sure, but I'll have to find that out. Okay, we got our direct clutch here. All right, these look pretty good. You know, it's just probably like a, other than that shaft being no good, you know, this is basically just a clean break of this drum. You know, it's pretty much just a clean break. So, you know, I guess maybe there's a weld or something here and it just broke loose from the weld. And actually, this is the last one that I did, actually for the same wholesale account, same problem. Not sure how many miles are on this one though. All right, so we're gonna open up the pump. This thing is a workhorse though, so it's getting all new pistons. I'm gonna also possibly look into, see what Transgo has to offer for this unit. All right, so first thing we're gonna get these 10mm bolts out. I'm going to get the springs out. I'm going to open up the pump. Okay, so that'll come out. These springs are still got a little scratched up on top, but we can use them. All right, piston. And the washer here, bearing. And you got a couple of sealing rings. And we'll take these off here. And then here's where you're going to find all your main valves, like I said, torque converter clutch, you know, valves, main regulator valves. Wow. Now let me get my, this actually, the battery's a little low. Let me just get my air gun out here and just zip these out. I gotta charge that battery. Alright, so this is gonna come down. There we go. Okay. You got all your valves in here. Okay, this looks pretty good. You have your pump plate. And then your body entrance. Okay, so these dots, you got two dots that face you when you're putting this back together. Okay. All right, so this actually looks very nice, very, very nice. But we're gonna do a bushing. Bushing there, bushing in the forward. And overall, it's not that bad to do. Okay, so let's rip this here. What we'll do is identify these solenoids here. Alright, so here's your temp sensor, and I'm going to change that because that is a problem. Like I said, when we diagnosed the car with one of these units in it, it was actually making the fans come on. And then this here, I think it just twists out. I know you can do this in the car. Oh, you know what you gotta do? You gotta lift. I think it has a tab. You lift up on this tab and twist it. There we go. Okay. Here is the temp sensor. So this here is definitely 100% going to be changed. All right, now to identify these solenoids here. I don't know this by heart, I had to look it up. Okay, so starting here with this one, this is your shift solenoid A, which controls the coast clutch. This one is shift solenoid B, which controls the overdrive clutch, your TCC solenoid, and your EPC solenoid. Okay, then over here is your shift solenoid E, which controls low reverse, shift solenoid D, which controls direct clutch, and this controls the intermediate clutch, shift solenoid C. Right, you have your range switch here. I'm going to try to get this out, this range switch, in this case. Not that easy to do because you got to pull the linkage out, and the pin is countersunk. So I'm going to have to work on that. So I'm going to try to get that out. Alright, so I guess that is about it for this 5R110. We have no movement condition, towed in, found the coast clutch broken in half. Other than that, I'm waiting also for the output shaft, and I got to see about a bushing. Other than that, it's really not in that bad shape. It's not that bad a unit to do. It resembles, you know, kind of like the 4R1. Okay, so real quick, I actually just shut the camera down, finished the video. I said, let me see if I can get this thing out, because I know it wasn't going to be easy. And it actually came right out. What I did is I took a scribe. You got a roll pin here that's countersunk kind of into the case, and they tell you that maybe you like to use a drill bit. But what I did was I had a scribe here. You know, it looks like, I don't know if it's going to fit in here now, because I had to use a plier on it. But anyway, I got the roll pin out. I grind the scribe down, and then I hammered the scribe in, and then this part actually came out, and I just put a vice grip on this thing and turned it in the direction that the roll pin was. Like, you don't want to go the other way, because then you'll spread it open. So I kind of looked at how the roll pin was made, and I went in the same direction, and boom, the thing came right out. I did not think that was going to happen. Okay, and then there's another roll pin here that I used a little bit of a longer punch to get out. All right, now I'm going to take two 8mm bolts out. And let me just put these aside. And then we're going to take the linkage out. Okay, here's the linkage. And then this will slide right out as one piece. And then of course I can change the lever seal. And you want to take note of how the linkage faces. You know, it can either face up or down. This one actually faced up. You know, down of course would be like that. But this one faced up, so. All right, good. I'm actually happy. I got this thing out. I actually also have an Allen key that I made. If you could see the end grind down there, but I couldn't get that one in. So I says, let me play around with this and grind another one down, and I got it right out. So that is awesome. Now I just got to put this, I guess, in the foot press. I'm going to let this case drain, put this thing in the foot press, and change that piston out down there, because I'm going to run this thing through the tank so I can do this unit up nice for these people. And I'm going to take a cookie, a green cookie, and I get all this rust off, just so it makes a decent ground when it meets the engine. All right, once again, guys, thanks for watching. All right, I forgot to point out one more detail on this 5R110 that I completely forgot to show you. All right, so we're looking at the back of the case, and the tail or the extension housing will bolt up to here. Okay, you can see this bushing, and next to that is a sleeve. Okay, and the sleeve is going to take two rings. Okay, and the rings, of course, ride on here, the smooth part, and I'm thinking it's for probably lubrication to, you know, get the lube into certain channels, and the oil will go where it's got to go. So, just didn't want to forget to show you that. Two rings, you know, you'll get them, if you get an overhaul kit, you'll get them in the kit, and you just got to make sure you put them back. All right, and that, of course, you have the bearing that'll go here, and then your shaft will go there like that. So just wanted to point that out to you. I meant to do that and I completely forgot, and I got the piston out. This is what the low reverse piston looks like, and I used you know, a tool like this, I put it through the case. I put the nut on the back here and compress the springs to get the snap ring out. All right, so just the one added thing I forgot to show you, which I meant to do before I close the video out. All right, once again, thanks for watching.